Hey, how are you? My name is Ben, and I'm a movie buff. We've had quite a year, haven't we? It's been strange, difficult, but you know what was awesome about this year? I had so much time to watch movies. Not including movies that I've seen before, I watched nearly 180 films this year, and that's way more than what I normally see in an average year. I saw lots of great movies, and I'm going to talk about a whole bunch of them in this video. As viewers of my channel know, I don't just count 2020 movie releases in this list. And thank goodness, I'm pretty sure I saw about 9 movies that were released just this year. It doesn't matter what year the movie came out, as long as I watched it in 2020, it can count towards this list. Let's get to some honorable mentions. Memories of a Murder, High and Low, The Nightingale, Theater of Blood, Raififi, Peanut Butter Falcon, Dog Soldiers, and Ace in the Hole. Coming in at number 15 is A Simple Plan. This is a film by Sam Raimi that is not a horror film or a big blockbuster, and he still knows how to make a good movie. The plot centers around 3 men that find a crashed plane with over $4 million, and they decide to keep it, believing that they will be happier. But of course, it only goes downhill from there. While it's pretty easy to see where the movie will end up by the time the credits roll, it's the way we get there that is shocking and engaging. At number 14, we have One Cut of the Dead. I can't say much about the story due to spoilers, but I will say this: if you like horror movies or movies about the art of filmmaking, you will get a lot out of this one. Number 13 is Creed 2. It really surprised me how good this movie is. The boxing matches are good as always, but it's all the moments and scenes in between where characters just talk to each other that had me on the edge of my seat. Bringing Ivan Drago back seems like a silly idea in theory, but my goodness, they made it work incredibly well. Also, I love the training montage. Number 12 is The Vanishing. This is a Dutch thriller from 1988 that has a couple on a road trip. The woman goes into a rest stop and does not come out. Her husband does everything he can to find her. The second half of the movie then shows us who was responsible for the kidnapping and goes into detail about why they decided to do such a thing. The structure of this story really makes things fascinating, especially in the second half when we get more answers about what happened. The criminal's backstory is pretty unique and makes you ponder about what certain humans are capable of. Moving on to number 11 is Free Solo. This is the only documentary on my list, and I love it because it gives a great overview of who this man is and why he would risk his life time and time again to climb a tall mountain. It's also suspenseful as all heck when he actually starts the climb. Number 10 is Fighting with My Family. A brother and a sister have a dream of wrestling in the big leagues, and after they both try out, only the sister, played by the always fantastic Florence Pugh, gets to move closer to her dream. I've never been a fan of wrestling, but man oh man is the writing awesome in this movie. It's funny, it's moving, and there are a few story decisions that I did not see coming. Now at number 9 we have The Croods. This wacky story of a caveman family has all the ingredients of a thoroughly enjoyable animated movie. It is consistently funny, beautiful to look at, and has a good moral to the story. Please watch this one with your family. It's an absolute blast. Number 8 goes to Paterson. We see 7 days in the life of a guy named Paterson who loves poetry and drives a bus as his job. That's it. Nothing intense or gigantic about this small personal movie, but that's okay. I love how simple it is and how we and the main character find joy from the little ordinary things we find in life. Adam Driver is an exceptional actor, and once again he proves with this movie that he is awesome. At number 7 is Little Women. I saw the Little Women adaptation from 1993 and I liked it just fine, but this version did something exciting with the format of the story and really made me fall in love with this family. Sure, they aren't perfect, but they are the kind of family that I'd love to have a meal with and also spend some time with them. Also, Saoirse Ronan kills it as usual. She is charming and genuine as always. And I also got to give a shout out to Florence Pugh again. Man, does she have a bright career ahead of her. Number 6 brings us Joji Rabbit. I've been a fan of Taika Waititi ever since I saw Hunt for the Wilderpeople. I really like the way that Joji Rabbit is handled. There's plenty of humor, but we still have many scenes that remind us just how brutal and devastating war can be. It's an interesting flavor that might have helped Waititi win his first Oscar for writing, which was well deserved. Coming in at number 5 is Barefoot Gen. This is an anime film from the 80s that details a boy's harrowing journey through the aftermath of the bombing of Hiroshima. This is not an easy film to watch. In fact, it's downright unpleasant at times. But I think in order to somewhat understand what these people went through, this story can't be watered down. It's a rough climb, but once you reach the top of this film's mountain, it really is uplifting. Number 4 is given to an Indian movie called Dongle. I haven't seen many films from Bollywood, but this might be my favorite. It's about this man who used to be a wrestler, and he trains his two daughters to wrestle in hopes that they can make their country proud. This definitely hits the story beats of a sports movie where we watch our protagonists practice hard to become the best they can be in a given field. Not only are the wrestling scenes exciting, but there are some fun decisions made when the girls have to be passed on to a new coach, but their father insists on being the main coach. While the movie is 160 minutes long, it's never boring, it's just really entertaining, and it's currently on Netflix, so give it a watch. At number 3 is 1917. Talk about a movie that cleverly makes you feel like you're experiencing the same things the main characters are. For the most part, you are with these characters every step of their perilous journey. On top of the camera work looking absolutely stunning no matter where we are, it really immerses us into this intense story. It doesn't feel like a gimmick, it feels like the most effective way to tell a story of this sort. At number 2 is Erin Brockovich. I only watched this movie for the first time about 2 weeks ago, and man, I did not know what I was missing. I don't think Julia Roberts has ever been better. I think this film is funny, tragic, engaging, but something that really stands out to me is the relationship between Erin Brockovich and Ed Ramsey. Their dynamic together is so entertaining because you have an old man who's been a lawyer for most of his life and a young mother who's still learning how to do her job. Yet they both challenge each other and teach one another things that help them grow as people. This was one of those rare experiences where for 126 minutes I didn't think about anything but this movie. It went by in a flash. And my number one movie of the year 2020 is Soul. I literally watched this movie last night. Is it possible that I may feel differently about this movie at a later time? Of course. But right now, it is easily one of the best movies I have ever seen in my life. Many have said that it's similar to Inside Out, and they're completely right, but for every similarity, there are at least two differences that make this philosophical movie stand out. This might be the best looking film that Pixar has produced. It has many laughs, which is not a surprise. There's a point, about 30 minutes into this movie, where I was wondering what was going to happen next in the story, and when it did happen, I got scared. It was a choice that made me think that this movie was going to start diminishing in quality, but they made it work. They really convinced me that they could work with this cliche that I've seen many times before and make it work effectively for this specific story. Soul really moved me and offers a wonderful reminder of just how special life can be. It's not always in the big life-changing events. Sometimes it's in the little things that we take for granted. This message may sound familiar, but Pixar usually has a way of taking something we know and making it exciting. Pixar really is the king of animation. Well, that's my list. What are some of your favorite movies that you saw this year? Let me know in the comments below, share and like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.